Porto versus Arsenal. A very, very late goal from AC Porto just sink Arsenal into the first leg of that tie. But we'll talk about all the matches that have taken place in the UEFA Champions League, and we'll see, or we'll rather make a projection of what will happen in the second leg in some few weeks' time. With me on the show is no other person than and also Arinzechi. So how are you? And good afternoon.
Good afternoon to the world. Good afternoon to you, Fanti. Come on. I can't be welcoming myself every day. It's good to be here. Thank you very much.
Okay, it's good to be here. Okay, we saw a late goal from FC Porto sinked Arsenal into the first leg of their UEFA Champions League round of 16 match against Porto. Um, I was telling somebody, and correct me if I'm wrong, during your analysis. I was telling somebody at the office in my office yesterday that Arsenal are not a team that are built for the Champions. This Arsenal team is not built for the Champions League, and I keep saying it. Maybe they might go into the second leg and win the match, but seeing this Arsenal team are not built for the Champions League. When you see teams like Man City, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, even Atletico Madrid, Barcelona also. I think the Barcelona of the old. Then also our Real Madrid. These are teams that are built for the Champions League. But this current Arsenal side, I told somebody they are not built for the Champions League. They are built for the Premier League at the moment, and they have to navigate their way through. Because if you go away, and a team like FC Porto are piling pressure on you at this moment, it shows that there's something wrong with the team when it comes to the Champions League. So watching that match yesterday, I just felt so sorry for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. I felt so sorry for them because if they want to go toe to toe with the big boys that have been there year in year out, the likes of Man City, the likes of Real Madrid that are 14-time champions, Bayern Munich as well, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, is going to be difficult for them. So, what's your take about the match yesterday between FC Porto and Arsenal?
Before I go into really what the game proper, I don't want to let all Arsenal fans that it's not yet time to press the panic button. Arsenal has played them three different times in the past. And don't forget, they have failed to win at the three times they've been at the Estado de Dragão in Portugal. They've lost twice and drawn one. But when they come to the Emirates, it is a mauling 5-0, 4-0, 2-0. So they shouldn't, they should not, it's been normal to go away from one of the first leg against Porto and suffer. And then I think last time they met was a 2-0 win. Fakar was on fire the first time they met. So they should not take it as anything. But when they came to them, it was a 4-goal dropping. Mad Nassam announcements of those days. So it's not time to press the panic button. But first of all, I must give kudos to the coach of Porto, Conceição. I think the way he set up his team to play against Arsenal, cost Arsenal a lot of trouble. What did they do? They try to snuff out the spaces from the Arsenal strikers thrive on spaces, on different angles in the pitch of play. So what he did was he set up his defense and his midfield to snuff out those plays. If you look at this man Galano, who scored the goal, I think he did more defensive duty than attacking duty. All he did was, Trossard didn't have much to do in the game. Saka as well was nullified. Odegaard, who we all know was the man is injured, who will pick the ball and turn and create a lot of chances, was well marshaled. It didn't even happen in time. I think the few times he had a turn at goal, that was when Arsenal had some few chances. Apart from that, they didn't let him turn. And that's the beauty of Odegaard. When he turns, he's dangerous. So what you have to do is cut out that turn before he makes that turn. Cut it out, foul him, just do something to ensure that he doesn't have that turn. And that's what they did perfectly well. So kudos has to go to the coach of Porto because the way he set up. You can see the fact that his players were around the 18, 90 minutes. The Porto players were running on empty. They were holding their legs, holding their claw, holding their knees. And also, second thing I noticed in that game as well was the poor officiating from the referee. This game, Arsenal has committed more fouls in this game than any other game they played so far this season. It was like for every touch on the Porto player, it was a foul. I understand that they are the home team, and they should be given. When I was watching my friend come out, they're the home team. Expect all these things. This is the home team. But that's against the Emirates. They have their own rub of green. Yeah. But it was getting too obvious that if the number of fouls in that game was, I don't think the referee allowed the game to flow. That I must say, which is very key for me. That is two. But three, I must be sincere with you, Arsenal really, they didn't help their cause. They were not aggressive enough, at least to be Arteta. When you saw how these guys were playing, why not be aggressive? Try and force the issue. They couldn't. Imagine going the whole 90 minutes for a team that scored 11 goals in 2 games without having a shot on target. You were the first Arsenal to depend on more or less uh, set pieces. The first Arsenal to depend more or less on corner kicks, free kicks. It doesn't always work that way, man. Yes, Arsenal has scored more free set pieces in the Premier League, but this is the Champions League. You see the fact watching that game show they had watched Arsenal's tape, especially for the set pieces. They stopped Ben White from going close to the goalkeeper. They whether it's from the near post or the back post. The only time I think Arsenal got the better of them was the free kick where Odegaard played and was it Odegaard? Declan Rice played and then Gabriel Magalhaes nodded the ball over the bar. He could have done better. So that's another big chance. If you're not, there are days where Martin don't play well, but their centre backs turn up for them in set pieces and corner kick. That was a big chance for Gabriel. He should have done better. So for me, generally, Arsenal were below par. I don't think they even hit second gear. I don't talk of third or fourth gear. I think if they had played a goalless draw, what I saw in that game, it would have been a fair result because Porto didn't even give much in attack. Let's be realistic. Arsenal had more shots off target, though they didn't have any shots on target. Porto only had 2 shots on target, including that one in the 90th minute of play by Galano. But the accept in the gameplay, did they really break into the Arsenal backline? Did they worry David Raya? No. Did Arsenal worry Diego Costa?
No. I think they did. I think on 2 occasions they did.
Only 2 shots on target.
Only 2 shots on target. There was a big miss. The ball that hit the post.
That's Galano. Hit the post and yes. Arsenal had their fair share as well. If Gabriel had put that ball in the back of the net, would have been saying, "See, these are half chances." They have
that was the biggest chance in that match.
Exactly.
Apart from that match,
on a better day, on a day where Raya was well positioned, that goal shouldn't be going in. Let us be realistic.
Yeah, I just think that he couldn't have been in that position. He came out
exactly. I thought he had jumped up. He had jumped up on his way down.
I think if you have the Arsenal fans out there that'll be watching this video, I think that Villarreal caused that goal yesterday. To be frank, he has no business coming outside. He has no business being in that position. He's supposed to be. Yeah, where he was at that moment when the ball was coming. I just don't think.
Now you're seeing what I've seen.
Yeah, no, he has no business being there.
If you want that game, he was on the flight. By the time the ball was coming, he was dropping down. So he jumped far ahead. He over anticipated the ball, jumped far ahead. When he was dropping, the ball was coming. So it was it's a ball that you should have easily, knocked off without any pressure. It was not powerful. It was not placed in the corner. It was just a flight that goal. I hope that goal doesn't cost Arsenal because if it does, Ouattara will turn back to that error by David Raya in the second leg. But like I said, it's not yet panic mode. Porto were the better side in that game. They deserve to get all 3 points. I felt a draw would have been a better result. To be sincere with you, would have been a fairer result. But see, football is cruel. When you don't take your chances, when you make a silly mistake, it's a Champions League. Atletico said that. They said there is no room for mistakes like this. Imagine you making a silly mistake in the 90 minutes. First of all, they lost the ball. They got it back. They lost again. I think they lost the ball twice in less than 60 seconds. And bang. The pressure, the fans, everything, playing at the start of the drag out. There's something about the Arsenal fans had to even stay in the stadium for all the Porto fans to leave. For them to just stay out the stadium where. So I think Arsenal it's not a bad result. Secondly, the fact that there is no more away goal rule. It makes it more even better for Arsenal because all they need to do is go to Emirates and win. By 2 goal magic and
also know that the last time a Portuguese side came to the Emirates, they won. So Arsenal need to be careful of being complacent as well because I'm playing at home doesn't mean that you are going to win the match at the end of the day. We saw last season in the Europa League, Sporting Lisbon came to the Emirates and beat Arsenal. I won't. And that last season match, the defeat to Arsenal at the Emirates was not just because Arsenal didn't come to play. It was because of complacency. Yes, the Arsenal side, they were unlucky, but there was part of complacency in that side. And if for what we saw yesterday, with that Porto side. if they come up with a game plan and Arsenal don't have a plan A and a plan B against, because they were not having a plan B yesterday, and that's why I fought Mikel Arteta. No plan B in that match yesterday. You went into the match and you saw Porto changing tactics upon tactics upon tactics. You could have engineered a plan B and a plan C as well to ensure that you don't concede a goal. Because if you give this smaller side a slight chance, they know how no matter where they are playing. Porto is a big team. They've won the Champions League. They've won the Champions League twice.
If I'm Porto like this, man, I'm because of Porto, I'm concerned. I won't change anything. I'll come into the Emirates Stadium and play the same way, try and stuff. See, Arsenal's strength is that just defend, but this time I must have an outlet because there's how far you can defend. The more you keep defending, the more you keep pulling deep. So what I do is defend, this time get an outlet. Maybe whether it is Pepe, whether it is Cow, just get an outlet, who I can easily use to, on the counter attack to hurt this Arsenal team. But if I'm Arsenal, it's not panic mode. See, we've seen Arsenal come to the Emirates Stadium. See, one, they've got their fans behind them. Two, the stadium, they'll play their lush green football. It's their pitch. They understand the terrain. They move the ball quicker. Porto are not used to playing this kind of pitch. What I'm going to do is wet the ground a bit further. The ground follow the ground.
You have to follow standard. That's it.
No, exactly. The pitch at the Dragon was a bit dried. Typical Arsenal would have wet that pitch at halftime.
Yeah, the Dragon was a bit dry because you know where the stadium where Porto is.
So all Arsenal need to do is get the grass a bit slippery so that the ball can roll quickly and they play their quick playing football and it's game on. Because see, football is advantage. It's their home advantage. Take it to a league. That's life. Because Arsenal tried to play that quick tiki-taka and the ball was not obeying them at the start of the drag. So for me, it just get back to the stadium. They don't change anything. As much as possible, I keep telling you, no pressure. All you need to do is if you get a goal, 2-1 is extra time. Not before that 2-1 is out of the competition. Like how Lisbon knocked them out the last time.
Yeah.
Simple. 2-1 is so what you do? Play your game, try and get an early goal or a goal from half time, and then you build from there. Don't forget we all saw that going to the Dragons is not Arsenal's best place to hunt. But we know when they come to Emirates against them, even when they had the Helton, they had the Radamel Falcao's, they had top players like Joao Moutinho's. They went to the Emirates and they always suffered loss. So that shouldn't be no panic. No panic.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even without the away goal rule gives also Porto an advantage as well, and Arsenal an advantage as well. Without the away goal rule,
what it does that it has taken away the defensive. It does Arsenal more favor than Porto. What? Because why?
No, it does Porto. Yes, it does Arsenal more favor than Porto. It also does Porto. No, it also does Porto a favor because they can hit Arsenal on a break. Yes.
Even if they hit Arsenal on a break and score, it does not change the target of Arsenal. That's what I'm telling you. Now,
the target of Arsenal is to score more than 3. See, the target of Arsenal is to score more than 3 goals in that match. Even 2 goals, even scoring 2 goals in that match doesn't.
It's not 2 goals. That's the target.
And that's why I said their target should score more than 3 goals in that, more than 2 goals in that match.
If Porto scores a goal, it doesn't change the target. That's what you should know. If Porto
it doesn't change the target, but it raises the bar. Hold on. It doesn't stop something. It raises the bar and add more pressure on Arsenal. We look at this. We look at this Arsenal side as if because they scored 11 goals in their last 2 matches in the Premier League, as if they can just go into any match and rule their opponent off. No.
Do you agree with me that this Porto team defensively we saw them in the group stages are not good enough? Just Arsenal did not step up. You have a 41-year-old Pepe in that back line. All they need to do is up the ante, up the speed.
Oh yeah, the guy have seen it. Yes, up the speed. But the guys, you also have players with speed in that team, so that are helping him.
Do you know how many times they had gone past him in that game? If not after we're not clean out. Martinelli had gone past him twice and then slipped. And this guy has gone past him twice and they made a wrong decision. Arsenal fans, I tell them.
But do you agree with me? Do you agree with me at the end of the day? Finally, do you agree with me on this Arsenal issue? Do you agree with me at the end of the day that this Arsenal side is not built for the Champions League?
I don't think so. You're involved.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
They looked almost. I can hear you. Can you hear me? So I want to be realistic. I want to be realistic and say I don't believe it built. Man City went on the roller coaster and won it last time out.
No. Understand where I'm coming from. Understand where I'm coming from. When I say build for the Champions League, understand where I'm coming from now. Now,
okay.
You see this Real Madrid side, they are built for the La Liga and built for the Champions League. Look
Yeah.
at the caliber of players they are signing left, right, center. Huh? You see the Man City side over time. Pep Guardiola realized the mistakes of other managers that have come into that team. That you have to build a team for two competitions. Forget about the FA Cup, forget about the Carabao Cup. But the holy grail, the two holy grail, is to win your domestic league and to win your the Champions League. And that is where modern day football has evolved to, whether we like it or not. You sign players that are good for the Champions League. You sign players that also that can cope in your domestic league. And teams are, but the players you see in Arsenal, the current players you see in Arsenal now. See, take this argument to anywhere, and I will say, and I will keep saying it. The current players you see in Arsenal now, this is not anti-Arsenal. It is just the way I have seen the team. This is a team that for the past 2 seasons, they are not built for Europe. They are not built for Europe. They are only built to win the Premier League at the moment and take it up from there. And that's where I think Arteta has gotten it wrong. People are calling them out that they can win the Champions League a double this season. They can't win it. That team cannot win it. This current Arsenal team cannot go beyond the quarterfinals. This current Arsenal team cannot go beyond the quarterfinals.
Let me wow you a bit. Because I said that I mean it. I'm a big unbeliever of the Arsenal team. You know that a lot. I believe that there's something they need to add. And I think there's something they need to add in this team, which is a striker.
Exactly.
That will give you 25 goals.
And also, and also to add to what you said, they need at least 3 players coming from Europe, not within the Premier League again, because they've gotten players in the Premier League that understand the Premier League very well. For me, I
think to me, what is majorly
two players two players you signed from outside Europe to help that team very well.
I quite agree that they need. I quite agree that they need somebody from Europe. I'm not doubt about that. But I think what is majorly lacking in that team is a striker. If they get to this team can compete in Europe. These guys are.
That striker for me, that striker should not come from the Premier League. If they want a striker, that striker should not come from the Premier League. That's just it.
I agree with you. But that is what they need. They get a striker that will give you 25 goals in the league. 7 or 8 goals.
Do you have the striker out there that will give 25 goals in the league? Do they have it there? Do they even have the money to? Do they have the money to sign that player?
The striker is in the Premier League. There's a player like that I love. Unfortunately, it's in the Premier League.
You're talking about Ivan Toney. You're talking about Ivan Toney.
30 goals if he gives the services.
But Ivan Toney is still naive. Ivan Toney is still naive when it comes to the European. He's still naive. I just think that they need somebody.
If they get Ivan Toney, the boy will learn. Gabriel Jesus is there. What has he done? He's been in Champions League for so long a time. Gabriel Jesus can't
do that job. I think it has shown time and time again.
Exactly.
Let's move on.
Before we move on, I want to make this thing clear. I want to let you know that the only team now the favorite to win the Champions League, I should repeat, is Man City. And the only team that can stop Man City from winning the Champions League this season is not Madrid. It's not Bayern Munich. It's Arsenal. It's Arsenal.
I don't think so.
I'll remind you this some other time.
No problem. I don't think so because I don't think so. Just like the way Manchester United always rape the Arsenal team in the Champions League, the same way this City team will still rip off the Arsenal team in the Champions League. That's just what it is. The Arsenal team, even during Arsene Wenger's time, forget about they were in the final in 2006. Even during the Arsene Wenger time, the highest they've reached is one final, 2 semi-finals. With all the success Wenger had with the Invisible and with the likes of with the double he did back to back, it is still the semi-finals, and that is where. Let's go to
the Arsene Wenger record era. You know how he was dumped out to some of those games. You know the politics around how he was. There was a particular game that was dumped out the whole
against United.
You can remember some games. I asked myself, how did they get Liverpool, for instance, in the quarterfinals? Is it 2007?
Yes.
How that game ended. So we know all these things. See, I'm not saying this. You can never doubt the Arsene Wenger era. he built a team that could have won the Champions League more than once, but finally it didn't just happen. It happens
Just
like
once,
that.
just once. He
It
built a team
happens
that
like
can win
that.
champions for once,
Pep
just for once.
Guardiola has been in Man City for how many years?
Yes, he has.
And they have
Look at it.
the
It is better to
once.
try. It is better to try and fail. And yes,
So
he has been there for 6 years. Am I wrong? 6 years. 2016, he came into the city side.
That is 7 years, man.
7
The
years
guy
with one Champions League,
he
with
tried and he
one
tried and he
semi-final,
tried
with
and
one
he tried.
semi-final. It's good. It's still good. Still better than better. And under the
Anyway,
nose. I won't say anything. I won't say further before the Arsenal fan. This is not an Arsenal agenda, though.
but I keep telling you, man. Man City are the
Okay.
favorite because that's Arsenal. Let's go on.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's go quickly into two teams that are struggling domestically. I don't know where the struggle is coming from. Both of them are defending champions of their league, are defending champions of their league currently. Napoli won the Scudetto after 30 years last season with the help of Victor Osimhen, Napolitano, Kvaratskhelia, and Samuel Giza as well in that team that won the Scudetto last season. A lot of players I can't really mention here. And Barcelona, we saw Barcelona. We thought that okay, they won the La Liga last season, and they will move a step further. But to be candid, this is the first time Barcelona are moving since 2021. I think this is the first time. This is the first time a player is scoring in the quarterfinals or in the knockout stage of the Champions League for Barcelona, which I think is been a long time. 2021 was the last time Messi scored, and this is the first time Lewandowski is scoring for them. I just think that these two teams, yes, barring the chance that Barcelona had yesterday in that match and controlling the game left, right, center. We expected more in this match than what we saw yesterday. Am I lying?
I think it was quite a cagey game. You know, first of all, you have a manager who's under pressure and Xavi about to leave at the end of the season, and you got a new manager in Calzona who just picked up a job barely for 8 hours to this game. You know, when we did the preview, the manager in charge was Walter Mazzari. And then
Poor Walter.
Absolutely. It is now Calzano, the coach of Slovakia national team. He'll be there until the end of the season. It didn't live up to expectation. The fireworks were expected, but I think there's something the match showed everybody that both teams are playing below their expectation. Xavi will be the better of the manager. I think he'll be happier with both manager because he knows he can go to Luis Campagna in Barcelona and get the job done. Though, don't forget, they're not playing at the Camp Nou. That's another big worry for them. But they should be able to go to Barcelona and get the result against a Napoli team that is struggling. I know what I said when I told you that Victor Osimhen needs to play if Napoli will get anything from this game. And the boy came good, you know, first returning from the AFCON, first game after the AFCON bench. He's scoring his first goal of the Champions League this season. But you will not know because of how well he has worked hard for that team. But this is his first goal in the Champions League. So it was the battle of the both coaches, the battle of Lewandowski and Osimhen. Both did not disappoint, but on the look of things, it wasn't the classic we expected. Maybe the game will come to life at the Luis Campagna in Barcelona, but it was like a team who held the ball possession base, and the Napoli team wanted to go on the counter-attack. And there's something I love Calzona, I must give him credit for, was the fact that he returned back to what worked for them under Luciano Spalletti with that 4-3-3 formation. Kvaratskhelia, Politano, Osimhen, Labovka, Carl Juste, even though he took the place of Zielinski, a player I love so, but I don't know. Like I said, he's going to leave for Inter Milan, keep losing their best players. But you could look at, you could see the sign of something good to come. They looked a better team than they were under Mazzari. At least Mazzari, after he was fired, he said Victor Osimhen cost him his job. That the fact that was in the AFCON. He said the fact that he was at the AFCON.
He shouldn't have said so. We are calling for his head on fancy football.
He was saying that the fact that Osimhen was at the AFCON.
Yeah.
And did not play for him during the short period of time that he was in charge. Cost him the job. But that's his own opinion. But the boy returned, scoring goals. You know, what a finish that was. He turned, the ability to hold off his marker, and the finishing was quite exquisite. Well, come on, also Lewandowski would always be Lewandowski. He's finishing. See, you can't argue with greatness. You can't argue
Exquisite,
with class. The same form
exquisite,
is,
yeah,
is temporary.
exquisite, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. So, both strikers lived up to the expectation. The billion, at least those who came to watch Osimhen got a goal. Those who came to Lewandowski watched a goal. But still, you could see that the teams, both of them, were in bits and patches. They were not really convincing, and that's why I still think that Xavi will be the happier of the manager going back home. He will have
yeah.
watched the game over again, realize this is where he needs to work on. These are places he needs to change. I love the fact that Pedri is back with the assist. That boy was good. And this is what comes when you overuse players who are under the age of 18, overusing them because they are stars. You
Jamal,
look at it,
Jamal,
yeah, but I just hope he doesn't hit the rocks too. That's another guy watching. We've seen it happen to
yeah,
Gavi. We've seen it happen to Pedri. They came, they saw, they conk, they didn't conquer, they conk.
Conk,
And then injury struck. Absolutely.
yeah,
So it's about managing the team. Pedri with the assist. This guy, always a fantastic midfielder, but I don't think he's made for the Barcelona style of play. That is Frankie de Jong. Had a great game as well. But for Napoli, I think the two best players on the pitch was Zambo and Giza, who was solid in defense and attack, and of course Victor Osimhen. But there's a lot of football to be played. Xavi and Barcelona are favourite, but come on. In the second leg, I tell you, Napoli would see they will love their chances. I think they see when you look at Barcelona right now, all you can see is injuries of wars. Teams have gone to the
yeah.
lose campaign and got a lot exactly. So there's something in there for them. They will come out to play their game, play their defensive counter-attacking football where Barcelona want to continue their position base. We hope that we see more goals in the encounter. But like I said, I love the fact there's no away goal rule. So it's just as we started again, we're going back to the Camp Nou again. So good football, but I think we expected more.
Okay, we expected more actually from them, from these two teams. Okay, I know you. Before we move to the next match for the day, I know you saw that news about Daniel Alves today that he was
Yeah,
sentenced for 4 years, four
4
and a
years
half
in.
years in prison
Yeah,
for sexual assault charges that was brought against him. I think that a footballer that I think for me in the past decade, outside Ronaldo and Messi, he has won the most trophy that's supposed to be won in football in
he's
the
the most
past
successful
decade.
player, more than Ronaldo and
Yes,
Messi. That's
more than
apart
Ronaldo
from
and Messi.
he's the most
The,
successful
yeah,
player
the
in the
only,
history of football.
I think it's only Messi that has an age or point because he hasn't won the World Cup. Daniel Alves hasn't won the
It
World
doesn't
Cup.
matter. When we got a
So,
trophy once, he
but
has
in
won
terms
more
of
trophies than both of
yes,
them.
but in terms of number of trophies
Yeah,
he has accumulated in the past 20 years of playing football, he has done it more than Ronaldo and Messi.
yeah.
I just think it is sad for him. It's a sorry story for him, but this is football. This is the world out of football, and you have to be very very careful as a player, so that
But
you don't land
I saw
yourself
it
in the
coming.
murky waters.
See, I saw it coming. He first of all said he didn't know the lady, and then he met the lady, and then nothing happened, and then he said it was consensual. You know, when you change your story 3 times, what do you expect the judge to do? But the good thing is that his lawyers said that he still has a chance to go to higher Uhuru. It's not yet Uhuru for Dani Alves. He still has a
Yeah,
chance to go to the higher and for a trial. But this is not what we want to be hearing. I think it's high time
yeah.
we stop hearing footballers being, linked
Footballers,
with
ex-footballers as well.
exactly
Very good
the crazy
footballers.
and look at Madrid. Look at Mendy. Look at that's the list go
I
up.
think
Look at even
Mendy's own you can understand that there is I don't want to use any word
even
that
if there
but
is anything, but
but
for a man to stand in
yeah,
front of a court and say that
court, yeah.
he loves women. He has been with over I
Well,
was over a thousand.
footballers love women, man.
He
Footballers
said
love you
he's
should come
over
here
a
and see.
thousand. In less than how many years in Man City, he has been with over 1,000 women. How do you say that in the court? Because that the man is promiscuous. So what are we saying?
He's not
Let
he's
us keep
not
it. That,
is he
see,
married? He's not married.
see, they are not. Even if the man is not married, see, they are not role model. Footballers are, please, follow their life on the
No,
pitch of play.
there are few footballers that are role model. There are few footballers that are
Most
very
of them,
few.
let me use the word most. Most are not role model. There are few who
Few
to behave
footballers.
themselves, but most of them are not. Look at Fifodin. Look at Mason Greenwood. Should I continue? Young players who their future is bright. They've not even play anything. I beg.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Sport Bishop. Let's move on from there. Let's go into the first match that was played on Tuesday between
Yeah,
on Tuesday one of the two matches that was played on Tuesday between PSV versus Dortmund. That ended in a stalemate, and with the center for Mark Hummels at the end of the day, which he thought, I think he disagreed with it. Up to now, he's still lamenting. But before you go into before we talk about this match, what do you think about the center for Mark Hummels?
I think it was quite harsh. I think it was quite.
He got the ball, but not chunk of the ball. There was a follow through, and
ball is a very crazy game. It's a contact sport, man. You can't take that away from football. And that's why I said if every contact in the box is a penalty, we'll have 1,001 penalties. That's my opinion. Because every other day there's a pushing, there's a talk. For every talk, if you look at every corner kick, there should be a penalty. Because either there's a tugging of shirt, there's a pulling of a player, something. It's a contact sport. You can't take it away from it. He got the ball first, and then he followed through, got the player. Fine. I feel it's why VR did not intervene because of the. We tell you it has to be clear and obvious because it's a 50-50. You may give it, I may not give it. I understand it. But my issue with the red card is the issue of double jeopardy. You have given a penalty. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You have given a penalty. Why a red card?
Because the referee seemed, to be frank.
No, there's a new rule of I've read about if he had given a yellow card, VR would have not overturned it. VR would have not overturned it because the rule of double jeopardy. If he had given a yellow card and given a penalty, the game goes on. He did not need to send the guy off. He had no business sending the guy off. Penalty, fine. I don't care if it's home. They have the advantage. I will tell you. But that red card is fine.
But VR is quite overturned it.
It's quite harsh. It was as if it was a clattering. He didn't clatter at him. Mark Miller is one of the most experienced defenders in European football. I think he's been in 3 finals.
Yeah.
So he understands these things. So for me, red card, if we get a penalty, as I say, it's 50-50 because for every call that is I say, you say, she say, they say, I like them to go to the referee decision, which I think is nice to do. But the red card was a bit too far. You can't give 2 punishment for it. Come on, you're giving the penalties, a yellow card would have survived, and everybody move on. That's my opinion. Everybody move on. We've seen it in Premier League where a guy clatters a player, the referee gives a penalty, and if some referee didn't give a yellow card. I was surprised when I've seen a case where the referee didn't give a yellow card. In fact, the challenge was because the rules that the challenge had been malicious. That was not a malicious challenge, now. He didn't go to kill him. No. He went for the ball. Unfortunately,
like you said, it depends on how the referee view it, and that's just it. But I just think that referees, especially in Europe and in the Premier League, I think they should watch what happened at the AFCON very, very well, keenly.
I think they complicate issue for themselves.
Yeah, it's one of the best officiating I've seen in recent. Apart from the final, I don't want to be biased. I just felt that the referee in the final of the AFCON was inexperienced in some areas. There's an element of inexperience in him. The AFCON final, but when we rate the officiating in AFCON I just think that it's 9 over 10.
I can agree with you. Like I said, European referees, they tend to complicate issues. That's my problem. They complicate it. So they'll tell you the contact. They'll tell you the distance of the ball. Next one, they'll tell you the angle at which the ball. They try to describe 1,001 things for one man. So the man just speaks. They overcomplicate it. Absolutely.
Exactly. So what's your take about the match? What's your take about the match in general?
I think it's a fair result. The Mele returned back to his old dumping ground and got a goal. He thought that would have been enough for his team, but fortunately PSV through Luke de Jong got them back. And looks like the second leg is set. But let me sit here with you. PSV knew, if you saw the way they were playing the last time, they knew if they would have a chance to play in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, they had to get out or get a victory in this encounter. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for them. Dortmund controlled the game. Apart from the penalty issues here and there, I felt they had the better team. But PSV, what I loved about them is that they gave a fight. We know on paper they were not in the same level with Dortmund on history, but on paper they looked evenly matched, and that's what they used. They held to the fact that Dortmund are not as fantastic as they used to be in those days where they got to the semi-finals and finals of the Champions League. So for me, it was an even game. I think both teams fair result, in my opinion. I think Dortmund are the happier of the two. They have something when they get to know. You know what about the Signal Iduna Park? It's a slaughter ground. The Yellow Army, when they ride, yellow, come on. You think you are playing because You know the funny part about this?
If they're in their A game, they will slaughter you. That's just it. In that ground. If they're in their A game, they will slaughter you.
The stand is so close to the pitch that you can feel the fans. Yeah. That's how bad it is. There is no track. They are so close to the pitch that
that's how modern day football should be, because you need the fans more closer to the pitch. And,
absolutely.
Yes.
You talk about PSV, but I tell you, it's doable. They've got a chance. Dortmund are not fantastic. We've seen teams go at their home in the Bundesliga and get fantastic results. So it's still an open game. PSV, I think they get themselves a glimmer of hope, that penalty. But Dortmund will be asking themselves how they did not win this game, because they had chances to do that even before that penalty happened.
Yeah. Okay, to the final match of the day, which we saw. For me, I think that match was one of the strongest if you see the display of the two teams. But if I may ask, Inter will take a one lead win to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
But what surprised me in that match, a certain player didn't turn up for Atletico Madrid. He always turned up, but he didn't turn up this time around. You can never count the number of chances, the number of time he touched the ball. And you know the player I'm talking about,
Antoine Griezmann.
He didn't turn up. So what happened?
I think it's the way Diego Simeone is set up. You know, he kept with that game. See, if he had got a draw in that game, he had won that game in his mind, though. So you were there thinking that they need to win the game. He didn't. It was not in his. I don't think in that game he told his plan to come and get it, because if you watch the game from the start of the whistle, they were soaking the pressure. They had no attacking outlet. They got in Angel Correa was doing more of defensive duties. Morata was returning from injury as well. They didn't touch the ball 4 or 5 times in the 18-yard box of the Inter Milan. It was pressure upon pressure. It was Lautaro Martinez versus Jan Oblak. It was this other striker, Marcus Thuram versus the defender. That quality, I think he had the centre back of Atletico. They had a great game. He marshaled Marcus Thuram like it was a fight. So he almost got there, if not for the goal just before the final, like 13 minutes, I'm mistaken, to the end of that game for Marco Arnautovic, his 16th goal of the season. In his own, I used to call it his second missionary journey. He was there when they won the league as far back as 2009, if I'm not mistaken. So, to me, Atletico Madrid came with a game plan to get a draw and take to the Wanda Metropolitano. It was not about how many goals they would have scored. It was about keeping Inter Milan short. And to be sincere with you, this one's no loss to Inter Milan is not a bad result, because you know what it means to play at the Wanda Metropolitano. In the Champions League, they have scored so many goals in that stadium. So many goals in that stadium. So let us not go and think, it is Uhuru, it is done and dusted.
But this Inter side you have, this Inter side, I bet you. No, they were wasteful. I bet you, with the kind of manager that they have, and you know they were in the last final as well. Yeah. I bet you they will give Atletico run for their money in Metropolitano. This Inter side will give them run for their money. They should be, should be very careful not to be overconfident that they are playing at home. This Inter side.
Don't forget that the strength of Inter Milan under Simone Inzaghi is their defense. But this season they've shown also they've got an attacking impetus in their game. Look at the way Alexis Sanchez is playing, like a player who is like rolling back the years. We have seen Marcus Thuram, we have seen Arnautovic, and of course Lautaro Martinez, all of them playing their part in the goal scoring department. Now they're going to a team who has that same defensive structure with them. I think with the way they play the attacking style, watch the game the other day, they left holes at the back of the fence. But unfortunately, Atletico Madrid were not interested in exploiting it. I was watching the game like,
would they be confident they can exploit those holes now? Because Inter now knows that they have a 1-goal lead.
I think the only thing that can stop somebody from getting a good result at the Wanda Metropolitano is overconfidence. Because if you see the way they're playing,
what you are telling us, or what you are telling me now, is that this Inter side cannot go to the Metropolitano and score a goal. Is that what you are telling us? Can Inter score a goal? I'm just
saying that Atletico Madrid are favourites. That is my opinion. Despite the 1-0 loss Atletico Madrid are still favorites because the plan is for them to defend, get a favorable result, and head to the Wanda Metropolitano, which they
Yeah.
did. Despite all the whole possession Inter Milan had, despite all the whole chances they created, despite all the beautiful football they played, they could only break that backline once. Only once, and just by the skill of their teeth. So who says the Atletico Madrid do not, Atletico Madrid play that same tape with them, and this time give license to the likes of Antoine Griezmann. By then, Morata 2 weeks from now will be more fitter because he's just gone from injury. He would have, he's scoring goals for fun this season. He's in a better place heading to this encounter, playing in front of his home fans. And you know, Simeone and the fans, there's this bromance.
Bond they have. Yeah,
There's this
they have this bond.
understanding. Exactly. Playing in that stadium. So I think to me, this 1 result is not looking, not a bad. You see, Simeone was smiling after the 90 minutes. So a coach that lost. In his mind, what will be in his Simeone mind is like job done. Because Inter has scored like 3 goals to nil.
Job done in the next 90 minutes. That's what I would do, because this Inter Milan side they are dangerous. Forget about where they play. I've watched them play this season. Forget about where they play.
They have seen Inter Milan turn a 1-0 deficit for over the years at the Wanda Metropolitano. It's not a new team. When they come to the house, all they do is defend. We've seen it happen before. Now, they think the game will start in the second leg for me. This one is just a test.
Every game in the knockout of the Champions League starts in the second leg, not in the first leg. You don't know what happened. No. We know. See, never say never. We know what happened. We know what happened. We know what happened in 2004. Was it 2004? Yes, in 2004, when Deportivo La Corona went to the San Siro, and they got hammered by a very strong AC Milan side that was led by Ancelotti at that time. The likes of Alberto Luque for Deportivo La Corona, the likes of Walter Pandiami at that time were in that team, and they got hammered 4-1 by a very strong Atletico AC Milan side that have just they won the Champions League against Juventus 2 years before. I mean, a year before. They were the defending champion a year before, and everybody thought that yes, that match was done and dusted. And what happened suddenly? They took the game to the Rio Zoo, and what happened at the Rio Zoo? It was a 4-0 jumping by Walter Pandiami and his colleagues. So it is never you can never say never until the fat lady sings. We also saw Manchester. Yes, we also saw Manchester United side. No, I'm taking you back to history.
But this is
this can still happen. Yes, this is can still happen.
Let me remind you a bit now. Let us still win the league. Watch here. Was it in 2017? When will let us still win the league again? Maybe the next
5 for the time.
There's a one-off. This thing happens.
I'm telling you that if you are playing, I remember that Inter Milan they are not just pushover. Also remember, put all these factors in between.
That's why it's going to be a cracker.
Yes,
but I still think
they were runners up, and they were runners up in the league last season, and they were runners up in the Champions League, and they are leading so they are running away with the Scudetto now. For what I care, they are running away with the Scudetto. We'll talk about that tomorrow, about their chances and about their chances tomorrow, because I want us to vividly look at the Italian league on the spotlight tomorrow. Tell people what they need to know about the Italian league and how far that league has changed over the years. So, but they are the current leaders of the Serie A, and they are playing well home and away, beating teams left, right, center in a league that is more defensive than what Simeone have in Spain. So,
have you read the defensive handout?
No, there are teams in Italy that have better. There are teams in Italy that have better handouts than him. Just leave him. He's a good manager. He has.
One thing about Inter Milan is if the attack does not click, what then happens?
They can defend very well. They can defend as well. So they defend. If the attack doesn't click, they defend. It's a two-way team.
Okay. I will unleash on them Antoine Griezmann. I will unleash on them Alvaro Morata, a fit Alvaro Morata. I will unleash on them Angel Correa, and then we'll see what happens in the second leg. But see, but I saw the result. I saw time last time.
One thing also they can't take away one thing they can't take away from
When
the
they
Inter Milan
won the
side.
game, I saw some Inter Milan fans screaming and jumping. I said, "You guys need to kill this game here. You guys don't know where you are heading to. Even Madrid hates playing there, man. They beat Madrid in that stadium. After losing to Madrid in the cup finals, that's why a week later. That place has a spirit. You are going to the Wanda Metropolitano. That's where you're heading to. So you need to. If they had won like 2-0, 3-0, oh, they've got the advantage. For me, 1-0 looks like a goalless draw. Heading to the Wanda Metropolitano.
Even when they win, okay, let's see what will happen at the Metropolitano. Let's see what will happen. But they also can't stop that Inter side from scoring. That's one thing I assure you for. We'll talk about this yes. But let's talk about this match in the fortnight time where we'll have the preview for these matches. I think we'll have more. We'll see more. We'll know more on how these two managers will approach this game.
But then would have seen how their form looks like. Heading to the
game. Their league position will not change. That's one thing I want to tell you. The league position will not change. Everybody will stay where they are in their respective league. Okay, thank you, Nosua Arinzechi, the Sport Bishop. Thank you for being part of the show. Thank you so much for bringing us this entertaining information, I call it, on the Champions League review. We'll be in the Champions League. We'll move further to matches we'll have next week. And next week, or there's a break next week. Okay. I think there should be a break next week. Let me see what we have in the UEFA Champions League.
Second leg of the games played last weekend.
Yes, second leg of the games played last weekend. So let's see what we have
last week. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we have next week. To be Bayern. Next week should be on the 5th of March. No, I think there's a break. There's a break next week.
On the 5th.
On the 5th of March. So there's a break next week.
Yeah,
so no Champions League matches. Yeah, no Champions League matches next week. So on the 5th of March is Lazio. It's a Bayern at home to Lazio. Can Bayern overturn that 1-0 defeat, aggregate defeat? And also is Real Sociedad versus PSG. Can Mbappe keep on carrying his team to the finish line, knowing that this is his last season? Then the 14th champions will be at home to RB Leipzig. Real Madrid always win at home, whether you like it or not. I think that will be there. Man City should be able to go past Man City. We should be able, so these are the games we'll look at, and we'll look at the formations, the tactics, and how teams will come to play. But for this show, it has been a wonderful show. I think I enjoyed this show more than any other show we've done here on the Champions League. I enjoyed this show today. So thank you so much, the Sport Bishop, and it's good to. And hopefully we'll have somebody join you. I think we'll have somebody join us from the UK from next week. Hopefully,
obviously, I love it. The more the merrier. Let's talk. Yeah. It's a round table.
It's a round table. So we'll have somebody join us from the UK next week. I think I'm working towards that. Hopefully, the family is growing. The family is growing, and we want the family to grow. So, thank you, Sport Bishop, for being part of the show once more. I appreciate you, and to our viewers out there that will be watching this video and that are watching currently now, I say gracias.